Hey peeps, hey, this is Crafty Peep, and I am in a retro vintage Halloween collab with host Monica, Up All Night DIY, and co-host Annie with Indie Annie Jones. Their links are in the description as well as the playlist link, so please go watch everybody. I loved doing these material pumpkins with just a little polyfill. I watched a crafter, and I will have to put her link to give her credit. Another follower sent me this her video, and I did not do it the way she does it. She made it look way easier, but after the first one, they all came together a little bit easier. So this is just a plaid material from the Dollar Tree or 5-quarter store, as I like to call it. So you just, gather the top with a rubber band, or if you're a sewer, you can cinch it with a needle and thread and hot glue the seam and then fill it up with some polyfill. I was excited. I used a $2 bag of polyfill I got from the thrift store and only used about a fourth of it for 3 good-sized pumpkins. So I just gathered it, hot glued it, gathered it, hot glued it, and used the spatula. You'll see it on my turntable, so you won't burn your fingers. I did not burn my fingers during the production of this video, so that was exciting. But I don't have patience, so, you know, hot glue needs probably at least 30 seconds to set up, so I'm not good with waiting for it to set up. So this is the bottom of the plaid pumpkin. I try to use everything today that they would have had back then. Back in the good old days. So where you cinched it up and put a rubber band, I'm just opening that up a little bit and using one of those wooden birch stems from the 5-quarter store, hot gluing that down there. And then I am using some ribbon, sari silk ribbon, and drop cloth and lace that I've gotten from a thrift store to just tie around there. There's the previous one I made on a live earlier today. So you just take whatever remnants you have, kind of find the center, tie you can tie jute or ribbon around the center, and that's as easy as it gets. You could do little loops, figure 8, but I didn't. You don't really need it because it wasn't going to be showing, so I just did a little vintage tails hanging off. And then I decided to make one more burlap because, you know, they had burlap back in the days with grain sacks, so I made a little burlap pumpkin. And tied it off with jute instead of rubber band. I haven't really started any fall decorating or done much fall crafts yet. I've done a few of when I'm in an event, and this is a open playlist, so was excited to come up with something vintage Halloween, so I hope you enjoy it. I would love, if you are liking what you're seeing, to go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, and in the comments tell me if you're over watching me from Facebook. And I would love for you to subscribe over at YouTube with Crafty Peep and hop over to Facebook and follow. I am trying to get to 10,000 followers over on Facebook, and I'm right at 7,000. So if you could follow and subscribe on Facebook and YouTube, I would love it, and you become an automatic sweet peep. So here's the bottom. A follower sent me that turntable, and I put a Mackenzie Child napkin on it, and then the clear vinyl from the 5 quarter store. So I am just loving that. And then you just rip it off when it gets too grungy and put a new piece of vinyl on there. So I kept all the strings. I love the rustic vintage look. So there's one of those, another birch little stems. I think I had to buy that from a Dollar Tree destasher because my Dollar Trees around here in south of Houston, Texas never has them. So there's the plaid I used in the earlier pumpkin. I love making rag bows out of Dollar Tree fabric and pillowcases I get from the thrift stores. You can just use anything. That was a linen napkin. That was harder to cut and rip, but it finally did rip on me. You can make as many tails as you want. I like a little whimsy, so I put a little pom-pom action in there. Then give it a little haircut. And I found my bag of acorns that I might put a few acorns toward the stem as well. But I was very happy how these turned out. I like doing things in a family. A dad, a mom, and a child. So there we go. Come next, I have an asparagus can. So it's a little bit longer than like a chicken and rice can. And I take it outside and hammer the bottom, and now I'm putting on Mod Podge, and I have this vintage sack that I believe a follower sent me. This would be cute as well, just to not put any paper on it and just put the cinnamon on it to make it look rusty. And I didn't fill it with flowers, but you can fill it with anything you want, really. So I'm just putting Mod Podge over that sack to protect it for years to come. Now I'm going to take some nautical rope, and I do use a little flame so it doesn't fray, and a little E6000 on one side and hot glue on the other, and that will be my little hanger. And there again, I don't wait long enough for it to dry before going over to the other side, and it pops off, and I add a little bit more hot glue, and it finally stays down. Who else is lacking in patience? Patience is not my virtue. I love the knotted nautical rope for my hanging crushed cans. I've been doing a lot of crushed cans. I just love them. So now I'm putting on some more Mod Podge and going to sprinkle some cinnamon that I just keep in the craft room. I do not take it back in the kitchen, y'all. And usually I do it over a paper plate to make it easier to put back, but I just have the paper towel handy, so you'll see me roll it up and put that cinnamon back in the container. Waste not, what not. So I love the cinnamon rusty effect, and it smells divine. So I'm just going to fill it right now with a little raffia until I decide what I'm going to put inside it. It's kind of like a little posy vase. Give it a little haircut. And now, instead of using that Wendy vintage card that my friend went and got it at Salem, Massachusetts, I decided to use this cat vintage card, and I took some top coat stain on a dry brush and made it darker, and just Mod Podge that on the front of the can. Isn't that cute? So I hope you've liked all these crafts, and please go look at Up All Night DIY and Indiana Jones channel in the playlist in my description. Stay crafty, sweet peeps.